Freaktography is a channel focused on urban exploration. The creator visits abandoned locations filled with history, filming as he walks through and explaining what happened in those places. He explores houses, asylums, hospitals, schools, and many other sites that feel unsettling because of the events and stories tied to them. In this particular episode, he planned to explore an abandoned house, one whose true nature he wouldn't understand until he came across something deeply disturbing.
Okay guys, here we go. We're starting in, I'm guessing it is the dining room. Got this really interesting wagging wheel light fixture hanging down. And as you'll see as we go through, pretty much everything is still in the house. Just sadly, a lot of it has been quite tossed around. So here you've got a china cabinet with some glassware inside it still. Looks to me like it was an elderly person's house or an elderly couple's house. As we go in here towards the kitchen, you will see that up in the cupboards, there's still all kinds of stuff. Everything's left behind. Everything's still nice and put in place. But look at the brown going on this glassware here, how old it is. Like it's been here for a very, very, very long time. There's a mannequin head here. So let's bring her up and she can join us for this explore. Nothing creepy about that at all, right guys?
So far, one thing was clear. The house was very old, and judging by the many personal belongings still inside, it seemed that whoever lived there either passed away suddenly or left in a hurry. Normally, when people move, they take most of their personal items with them. He kept exploring, looking through more rooms and objects, confused by how many valuable and meaningful things had been left behind.
Holy cow, this is a full pantry. Can we get in without hurting ourselves? Some scarves there. All kinds of food, canned food. We got chunky soup. We got tomato soup. Can't quite see, guys, because I can't get all the way in there. But yeah, you got all kinds of canned food in the pantry.
But this was the moment he realized what kind of house he had stepped into, and unfortunately, it turned out to be a deeply sad discovery.
Okay, oh guys, okay. I just realized where we are. I just realized what house we're in. And I had no idea, guys. Whew, okay, that changes things. I'm gonna change my tone here. Guys, this is a body stain. Somebody passed away right here. And well, I didn't expect that. Okay. You guys have probably seen this. Some other explorers have been here in the past and have posted some photos of this in this video. But unfortunately, yes, I believe it was an old woman who fell here and passed away on the floor. And see what I can dig up in terms of information without giving away too much. But yeah, that changes things. That changes my whole mood of this house. Realizing that this is that house. So, I don't want to step on that. Let me just move over here and take a step over. Okay. That is very, very sad, guys. You've got legs, you can see the torso, the arms, and the head. That is my second body stain, guys. My second body stain. There's a...
Based on the stain, it appeared the woman had been lying there for more than 2 weeks before anyone discovered her. It's a heartbreaking reminder of how important it is to check on elderly people regularly. Even a simple call to see if they respond can make a difference. I couldn't find clear information about who she was or the exact cause of death, but the position of the body and where it happened suggest it may have been something sudden, like a heart attack or a fall that caused a fatal injury. Looking around the house, it's painful to imagine that it was once likely clean and cared for while she was alive. It's tragic how a home can become abandoned and neglected after someone passes away, as if time simply stopped inside. poor woman. Please remember to check on your elderly loved ones from time to time. Cinemas is a creator who loves climbing extreme structures like radio towers and tall abandoned buildings. His content definitely isn't for people who are afraid of heights, but in this particular video, he wasn't climbing anything. Instead, he and a friend decided to explore an abandoned factory and film their experience. Unfortunately, the video turned into something completely different when they came across something unexpected.
Bėg. Fuck. Bėg.
When they looked back, they noticed a worker from the area chasing them, and the situation instantly became extremely stressful. What made it worse was that his friend couldn't run very fast, forcing him to constantly look back to make sure he was still keeping up.
Holy shit, Zähne.
This was the moment they thought they were finally safe, and that there was no way the man was still behind them. But nope. When they looked back again, the worker was still chasing them, and they came dangerously close to getting caught.
Sergej. Fucking hell. Fuck! Горячо! Šūdas! Fuck, bėg! Bėg! Kopėsim dar! Fucking hell! Greičiau, lip! Mes nieko nevandalizuojam. Mes nelaužom, mes nevagiam.
Eventually, the worker got dangerously close, but luckily they managed to escape. They tried talking to him afterward, explaining that they weren't stealing anything, but one thing's for sure. He'd probably never take that friend exploring again. I mean, come on, the guy was moving in slow motion, and they almost got caught twice because of him. Why even do something like this if you're not ready to run when it counts? At that point, they could have been caught, but the worker probably didn't have the strength to keep up after all that chasing. I honestly don't know how much that man gets paid, but it definitely isn't enough. Adam Mark runs a channel all about exploring forgotten places, hidden corners of the world, and the stories they hold. He often visits supposedly haunted locations looking for unusual activity. Usually these trips just leave him with a strange vibe and nothing more. But in this particular video, something happened that completely shocked him and his partner. They decided to explore the abandoned Branagar Hospital.
Tucked away in the hills of North Wales lies the decaying shell of Bronagharth Hospital, once a proud Victorian workhouse, later transformed into a prison and then a hospital for the dying. Behind these walls, thousands live their final days in pain and isolation. From the cries of the poor to the silence of the locked wards, this place has always been a dumping ground for society's forgotten.
They began walking through the halls, and honestly, abandoned hospitals are always incredibly creepy. Maybe it's because of all the people who passed away there and the suffering those walls witnessed. The suffering those walls witnessed? Bro, what am I even saying? What am I, a poet? Anyway, not talking about ghosts or anything yet. It's just naturally unsettling. But what happens next in this video really makes you start thinking about the possibility of something supernatural too.
Oh, waiting rooms. Whoa.
I'm here for the chaos.
You're here for the chaos? Did you hear that on the glass?
Yeah, I did. I was just about to say, did you do that what you wanted to do?
Do you want to wait there? Let's hold that door maybe. Really tapping on the glass. You saw that, yeah?
Did the door close?
Yep. It tried to shut me in there. You crying?
No! I want to though.
How crazy is that? Because it literally said, go left, and I went down there, and then it tried to shut me in the room.
Did you see anything?
No, I just heard the door.
Children are playing.
Children are playing.
All right, let's talk about that door closing. Do I think it was a ghost? Honestly, I don't really know. Most of you already know my thoughts on this kind of stuff, but there was definitely something there. Do I think they faked it? Not really. It could have been an animal or even a homeless person hiding behind the door, and their reactions seemed genuinely real. They decided to stay a bit longer because that's the point of the channel, paranormal exploration. So why leave when something like that happens right in front of you, right? They tried using some devices to see if they could catch anything on camera, but I won't go into all that. Now I want to hear what you think about this encounter. Could it have been the wind, an animal, or a person hiding? Or did they actually capture something paranormal? Adam titled the video, "The Night He Almost Quit Exploring," which shows it was something completely new to him. Even though he continued exploring other places after, he never ran into anything as creepy as this. Nico is someone who loves exploring unknown and abandoned places. He doesn't do it full time, but whenever he goes out, he makes sure to film the adventure and share it on his channel. In this particular video, he explores an abandoned cement factory and ends up in a strange and unexpected situation.
No, però...
Cazzo è sta roba? No! Kev, siamo sospesi nel vuoto. Zio caro.
The place was completely abandoned and located in a very remote area, far from any main roads or cities, with none of the usual city noises, no cars, no people around. It seemed like they'd be completely alone, but while they were outside trying to find another way in, they ran into something unexpected.
Ma cos'è? Ah no, sì, dove eravamo prima. Fermo, figa. Io via, cazzo. Via, via. Via, via. Sei fermato? Oh, sì. Merda, merda, merda. Salta.
That man suddenly started running after them. Nico says his friend actually fell right after they turned off the camera, but still managed to get away. Now, who was that man? A security guard? I don't think so. The place was covered in graffiti and drawings, showing that people had spent time there without anyone stopping them. So, who was he? Abandoned places like this are often hubs for illegal activity, gangs meeting, discussions about drug sales, homeless people staying there, and more. It's possible the person chasing them was just a gang member who happened to be there and thought the boys were up to something they shouldn't be seeing. Of course, this is just a theory. The real reason is unknown, but what matters is that they escaped, which is a reminder of how unpredictable abandoned places can be. Vacant Haven is a channel dedicated to exploring abandoned places. The creator visits all kinds of locations, showing their history and sharing the things he finds along the way. But as you've seen in the videos I've shared so far, these adventures always carry some risk, whether it's encountering someone suspicious or stumbling across something tragic. You never know what might happen, so it's important to stay alert. In this particular episode, the creator planned to explore a remote cabin with his friends. The cabin once belonged to an elderly man and had been left abandoned after his passing. The plan was simple: enter, explore, and leave. But what happened turned out to be much stranger than they expected.
Yeah, look, we've got cars and sheds there. Loads of cars, mate.
Near the cabin, there was a sort of car graveyard, with rusted vehicles stacked on top of each other. But when they finally reached the cabin, they noticed their first sign that they might not be alone, something unusual for a house whose owner had passed away.
It's like a horror film, Ed. He's got to do it. How do you know? I heard noise. This is like a horror film, mate.
Is that you, Ben? Did you just hit that? Oh, you
Inside the house, the electricity was still on, making them think someone might be inside. It turned out no one was there, but it was a sign that someone had been there recently. As they continued exploring, things started to feel increasingly unsettling. In the hallway, they noticed some drops that at first appeared to be blood.
Oh, yeah. That does look like blood. Do you reckon now? I've just put my hands on the murder weapon. An idiot. Go that way. Go to hide that. Have you checked? Oh, what? Let's have a look. It's locked. It's locked. Yeah, it's locked. Oh, you're back out here, aren't you? Yeah, well, this was where the blood was, look. That was paint, where they painted the doors. So someone might have been staying there.
It turned out to just be paint from the doors, but then something else caught their attention. Some rooms in the house seemed fairly normal, almost like someone had been living there recently, but shortly after noticing that, they heard something outside that made their adrenaline spike. Take a look.
It's all just been left, isn't it? Oh, this car's out. Where are you? They're opening the gates. Which way? Hang on, which way do we go? Go that way. Don't let him see you, don't let him see you. Let's get out of here. That was a bit, maybe they get the door open. Door open quick. Keep it rolling.
They ran straight to their vehicle and left the area, all while the man who had arrived watched them, captured on camera as they filmed him. No one knows who he was or what could have happened if they had stayed. Now the question is, were they actually in a house where someone was still living, or was the person who showed up just doing the same thing they were, exploring? If it had been the owner of the property, things could have gotten messy if one of them had been caught. Luckily, they managed to escape. What we do know for sure is that if someone was actually living there, the group had no idea about it. The creator clearly states in his channel description that they never break into locations they visit, which makes it clear they genuinely believed the house was empty. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed these kinds of videos, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more. You can also turn on the bell so you'll get notified whenever I post. And if you want to keep watching, click on one of the videos on the screen. I'm sure you'll enjoy those too.